I don't know why you're so willing to accept defeat in your own life on the basis of, oh, well, I just can't. I wish I was the type of person to work out, but I just can't. Oh, I wish I wasn't lazy, but I just ain't. I'm sorry. No, that's disgusting. It's giving, I don't know how to take accountability for the role that I play in my own life. It's giving, I feel like everything happens to me and nothing happens for me. Okay, so if you want to fix that, then I'm gonna need you to go ahead, sit down, and listen up. And action. Thank you so much for reporting to duty for the Pretty Princess Command Center episode 25, where we're going to be going over every single thing you need to know about how to actually become the type of girl that shows up consistently and follows through with everything that she says she's going to follow through with. Because I'm sorry, not following through with stuff is so icky, so yucky, so embarrassing, and I know that it's a lot easier to say that than it is to actually be the type of person to follow through. I get it. I used to be the type of person, and a lot of times I still am the type of person. I say I'll do something, and then something will come up and I'll just be like, oh, well, I guess it's okay if I don't do it. Oh, I guess it's okay if I can't. Like, I'm actually getting fed up with myself over this. So this video, a lot of this video is me talking to me, but like, oh my gosh, we don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to act like that anymore. It's just, it's not a good look. It's not cute. It's not giving the woman that we want to be. It's not giving the energy of the girl of our dreams. Okay, when we think of the girl of our dreams, she's not acting like that. She's not making excuses for herself. She's not saying, oh, I can't do that. She's not doing that. So why are we doing that? We need to stop, okay? We're gonna go over the reasons that you might be struggling to follow through, because there are so many that actually have nothing to do with you being lazy or you just being pathetic, but some of them do have to do with that. But we're not going to talk about those ones. That's a little bit of self-reflection needed. I can't tell you that. We're going to go over some mindset shifts that you can start implementing to make following through and being consistent a habit rather than just something that you sometimes do. It's going to just start feeling like a habit when you start shifting your mindset from what it is to how it could be. And of course, we're going to go over some practical tips that you could implement in everyday life to start actually being somebody that shows up and follows through. Of course, as always, we're going to go over the Pretty Princess Playbook, the how-to guide for actually how to show up consistently in your own life and how you can actually map this out on paper so that you could just action it out. You literally are giving yourself the instructions for how to be the girl of your dreams, okay? Okay, so without further ado, if you want to become an official Pretty Princess and join the Command Center, all you have to do is subscribe. It's literally that easy. It's really not that hard. Please do it. Shall we just get into it? I think we shall. So, welcome to phase 1. What are the reasons you're struggling to follow through, and why are you just failing to be consistent in your life? And whatever the case is, whether it's working out, whether it's showing up for other people, whether it's sticking to something that you said you were going to do, whatever the case may be, let's go over some of the reasons you're having a hard time doing that. Okay, first and foremost, you're probably not lazy. You might be. I don't know you personally, but you're probably not lazy. You're probably scared of not being perfect. You're probably a perfectionist, and even if you don't think you're a perfectionist, I don't consider myself to be a perfectionist, but the more I look at things, I realize, like, no, I am very much a perfectionist. One of my best examples of this is I posted a video a while back on TikTok, and when I was filming it, I didn't love it. When I was editing it, I didn't love it. I was making such direct eye contact with the camera, and I was like, this is disgusting. Like, I'm not enjoying this. This is weird. My makeup looked weird. My hair was straight, and I do not like wearing my hair straight. It just doesn't look good on me. It's my natural hair, but I don't know. I don't like it on me. And I just didn't like it at all. And in my perfectionist mindset, I was like, oh, whatever. Like, I'll just refilm this tomorrow and whatever. But the next day came, I think I got sick. So I actually wasn't able to film that day, so I wasn't able to refilm it. And I was like, whatever, I'll just post it. What's the worst that could happen? It got over 1 million views. So that, for me, was just the confirmation I needed to be like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's not perfect. Maybe I don't love it so much, but I'm getting my message out, and that's what's important. The important thing about that video wasn't that I didn't like my makeup or that I didn't like my hair. That wasn't the important thing. The important thing was not how I looked. The important thing was the message I wanted to share. And if I were to have been a perfectionist about it, I would have waited a week to repost it and refilm it, repost it, and maybe it wouldn't have done so well, like stuff like that. So anyway, that is something to look into, because even if you don't think you're a perfectionist, if you are the type of person that's like, well, I'm not going to do this because I can't do it perfectly. Like, oh, well, I woke up later. I woke up late, even though I was supposed to wake up at 5 this morning, but I woke up at 6 o'clock, so now my whole day is ruined. It's giving perfectionist. And I think sometimes we could be a little bit too hard on ourselves, because when you think like that, immediately you're thinking like, oh, I already wasted my day. I already didn't show up how I wanted to, so I'm just going to throw the whole day away. And that sounds like a lazy mindset, a lazy excuse, but a lot of times it stems from a fear of not being perfect and just feeling overwhelmed that you couldn't do something exactly how you wanted to do it. But that's the thing with following through. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. If you can be consistently imperfect You're going to be so much better off than somebody who can inconsistently be perfect. I've said it before, I've said it again, it's not grammatically correct, but that's what makes it stick with you. Something good is always going to be better than nothing perfect. It's like in school, if you did half of your math homework and you turn it in and you get a 50% because you only did half of it, that is so much better than taking a 0 for not turning it in just because you didn't finish it all the way through. You know what I mean? We are not aiming for perfection here, okay? We are not aiming for perfection. It's impossible to be perfect all the time, let alone any of the time. You know what I'm saying? Because perfection is literally in the eye of the beholder. I'm sorry, have you guys ever taken an English test and written an essay? That's literally, like, it's impossible to be perfect. You could get a 100% grade because the person that was reading it thought it was perfect. Somebody else could read it and grade it and give you a D. Like, perfection is just something that we've made up and deemed like, okay, well, this is the bar and this is as much as you can get. So if you get there, then it's perfect. You can't set that bar for yourself in real life because it doesn't exist and it moves every single day. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, one of the first reasons that you're probably struggling to follow through and you're struggling to show up is that your brain is addicted to comfort. We are literally wired as human beings to take the path of least resistance. That's like, it's in our DNA. It's evolutionarily, like, we are designed to do that. We don't want to do the hard thing. We want to do the easiest thing, minimum effort, maximum output. We're literally designed that way. Like our ancestors back when we were cavemen and everything, it helped us conserve our energy because I'm sorry, like, why am I gonna run all the way over there to hide from a threat when I could just hide in the cave? Like, maybe the cave is uncomfortable, maybe it's dark, maybe there's no food, maybe it's cold, but I'm not running all the way over there just to hide from this predator. That's what our ancestors did, and you know what? Valid, because you can get out of the cave eventually, like, you're fine. It's an energy saving instinct that we all have within us, so that might make you feel a little bit better. It might make you feel like, oh, okay, like, maybe it's not my fault. It's not your fault, it's your responsibility. If you want to be better, it is your responsibility to change that, because nobody's going to make you better. You have to make you better. But a lot of times today, that mindset works against us in a lot of aspects because, like, we don't necessarily need to be on survival mode all the time to thrive in the new world, right? Your brain's #1 job is not to maximize productivity or to make as much money as you can or to be as helpful as you could possibly be. Your brain's, like, autopilot #1 job is literally just keeping you safe. That's all it's trying to do. And when you're doing something that's uncomfortable or scary or new, your brain doesn't feel safe. Your brain goes, what are you doing that for? Why are we doing this? I don't want to do it. Come back to where we were. It's giving, no, stay in bed and cuddle. That's what it's getting. Like, that's what your brain wants to do. Your brain wants to stay in bed on a Sunday morning when you have a whole list of chores. Your brain wants you to, oh, come back to bed and cuddle with me. I'm busy. I have things to do. Even if the familiar and the safe and the comforting, even if it's unfulfilling, your brain still wants you there. So like when you start eating really bad, if you start eating a really bad diet, you get upset that, you know, like, okay, well, I know my diet's bad. Like, I know I shouldn't be eating this. I know that I have too much sodium in my diet right now. Like, I know that I shouldn't be doing this. But instead of changing it, you say, well, what's one more day? Like, one more day won't hurt me. What's one more day? It's easier. Because if you've had that diet for your whole life, or for a majority of your life, or maybe you've slipped into this habit of, I only ever get fast food and I literally never cook and I never go to the grocery store, like, I only eat fast food. You've slipped in that habit. One, the food actually, like, literally has addictive chemicals in it. Two, you've put your brain in this, like, comfort zone that, okay, yeah, like, why would I go to the grocery store and then come home and then cook and then have to clean? Like, why would I want to do that when the path of least resistance is going through the drive-thru, handing them a $10 bill and being satisfied with the flavors, being satisfied with not having to do dishes, being satisfied because I'm not hungry anymore? Well, of course, you're going to choose the easier option. But again, that's just your brain trying to keep you safe. It's actually just hurting you because you're actually not in danger. You're not in dangerous territory just because you have a few extra steps to do, just because you have to start being responsible. It's not dangerous, it's just scary, it's new, and it's uncomfortable, and that's why your brain doesn't want to help you keep doing what it doesn't know. And like I was saying, it's not your fault that comfort feels a lot safer than growth. It's not your fault that comfort feels a lot safer than trying something new or branching out or thriving, honestly. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. If you want to make any change, it is your responsibility. And I feel like so many things in life, it's, oh, well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that I'm like that. No, it's not. And that's awesome for you that you can recognize that. But it's your responsibility to change it, or you just need to shut up about it. You just have to stop talking, because We get it, it's not your fault. We get it, it's not your fault. But it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility. If you want to make a change, it's your responsibility to make a change. The second reason you're probably having a hard time showing up is that your brain is addicted to dopamine. And I know we've all heard this so many times, especially like, oh, our attention spans are so short because of TikTok, and like we cannot sit still for longer than 2 seconds at a time, like stuff like that. But truly it is like, I fear our dopamine receptors are fried at this day and age. But honestly, it'll probably be something in like human evolution where it's like, oh well, humans actually, they can work so much faster, they move, I don't know, something like that, you know what I mean? But anyway, yes, social media, fast food, instant gratification, it's all considered cheap dopamine. So basically it's just dopamine that's like quick hits, but it's not actually satisfying you internally. Like, it's just quick and easy, and that's why you keep going back to it. It's like having a microwave meal instead of having a 5-hour home cooked meal. Like, you could have a microwave meal chicken pot pie, or you could take 6 hours, use your great grandma's recipe, and have the most delicious chicken pot pie you've ever had. You know what I'm saying? That's the only difference. They're the same thing at the end of the day. They're both chicken pot pies. They're both yummy enough. But it's, well, this one takes a lot of time to do, and this one takes a little bit of time to do. And it's literally just because you're not going to get that dopamine hit right away. And like, honestly, our brains and our bodies just crave that dopamine hit. We are always craving dopamine. We always want that feel-good chemical. We always want to have that instant gratification of like, oh, this makes me happy, this makes me comforted, this makes me warm and cozy. And like, yeah, scrolling on TikTok is a lot easier than sitting with your feelings or getting out your journal and journaling about your day and all these things. We're getting these instant gratifications of dopamine hits as opposed to the long-lasting, actually beneficial to our mental health, to our physical health, to our everyday life. And it's just not good. It's not good. This is kind of like a mindset shift we're going to talk about a little bit later, so I might bring this back in. But here is an analogy for you to think of right now in terms of this dopamine hit. So let's say you had a goal to save $1,000, and somebody came up to you every single day and handed you $1. You would take that money with joy. You'd be like, oh my gosh, if this person comes to me 1,000 times, then I'm gonna barely have to do anything for that $1,000 goal of mine. You know it's helping you reach your goal. Even though you're still sitting at $1, $2, $3, $400, $500, you're not there yet. You know that every single day that somebody hands you this dollar and you take it, you know that it's helping you achieve that goal. So the more you take the dollars and you see like, oh, okay, like I started at 1 and now I'm at 10 and now I'm at 20, 25, 30, 35. The more you can see it going up and up and up and up, you're like, wait, no, because like now I'm a little bit more motivated. Like, I don't want to wait for this person to hand me a $1 bill. Like, I'm gonna go set up a lemonade stand and hopefully I can make $20 today. Like, you know what I mean? You're gonna start looking for more reasons to achieve your goals faster, to reach your goal faster, because you're gonna see this progress bar of like, okay, this $1, maybe it sucked at the beginning because my goal was $1,000 away. That's still $999 that I need, but now I need $998. 997, 996, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna look for more reasons to go find more money to achieve your goal faster. And this logic needs to be applied to every single aspect of life, because even if you don't see the result of your goal instantly, and even if you don't feel them instantly, you know that they're happening. They're going and going and going. And think about how bad you feel when you have been eating like crap for a month. You've only been getting fast food and you're like, oh, like I know this is really bad, but like what's one more? If you can have that logic with, I know this is really bad, but what's one more? Do you not consider that proof of confirming your belief of this is really bad for my body? That's proof that, okay, it's really bad for my body. But for some reason, when you decide like, okay, I'm gonna go on a health kick, I'm gonna eat really healthy, I'm gonna start working out, and after 2 weeks, you don't see any results, oh, well, it's not working, I might as well give up. Even though you could spend a whole month eating fast food and being unhealthy and know every single day that you do it, oh, this is really bad for me, it's really hurting my health. It's because you're addicted to the dopamine hit of it and you're comfortable doing it. It's easier to just wallow in your own self-pity. It's easier to just wallow in like, oh, these are my bad choices and I'm so sad and like I wish I was like this and I wish I didn't. It's so much easier to do that than be like, okay, let me take accountability for my own life, okay? Let me change this. But every time you choose to make the right decision, even if you can't feel the results instantly, even if you can't see the results instantly, you are rewiring your brain. You're rewiring your brain. Literally every time you do something good for yourself, you're rewiring your brain little by little by little. And like you've never seen a road in your town get smooth paved in faster than what? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? You've never seen it happen overnight. So why would you think that this would happen overnight? You're literally building new roads in your brain to understand like, oh, this actually is a safe path. Like I've gone down every single dead end and I've made sure like nothing dangerous is over here. Okay, like I did this again. Oh, perfect. Like we're getting so far along. And then you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, that's where I started and here's where I am. Wow, I made this whole new road. You have to get addicted to delayed gratification. I saw this girl on TikTok, actually, she said you need to start procrastinating your bad habits, which I think we'll get into later if I remember correctly, but you need to start procrastinating your bad habits just like you do the things you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so the third reason that you might be having a hard time following through and just staying consistent, showing up, is that you have an identity gap. So basically all that means is that there's a disconnect between who you are and who you want to be, which always makes sense. Like you could think of so many things right now. It's like, oh, well, I'm here, but I want to be here. In scientific psychological terms, that gap is actually called cognitive dissonance. And according to my research, cognitive dissonance is the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially as relating to behavioral decisions and attitude change. And so one of the most perfect examples is somebody who smokes cigarettes even though they know that cigarettes are really bad for them. And so obviously if you're somebody who smokes cigarettes and you know cigarettes are bad for you, you have this conflict up here, okay? And the conflict is the identity gap. The conflict is I am a smoker. I am also a smoker who's educated enough to know that it's bad that I smoke. So that's the gap. That's the like, okay, I'm standing over here. Here's the gap. Here's where I should be. How do I close that gap? How do I close that? And that's when they start having the thoughts of rationalization and like rationalizing their decisions in attempt to close the gap. And they start thinking like, oh, well, I smoke cigarettes because it helps reduce stress. Like I can't stop smoking cigarettes or else I'll be stressed out all the time. Or, oh, well, smoking cigarettes helped me lose weight because it reduced my appetite. So if I stop smoking cigarettes, I'm gonna gain all that weight back. They start creating these little pinpoints of, oh, well, that's why I have to keep doing it. Right. No. It's a great excuse. Like it is a great excuse. It's so perfect. It's so logical. It's backed by science based on what cigarettes do to your brain. Like it's so logical. It makes sense. And if you can believe it, then I don't have to do anything about this because it's fine. I close the gap. There's no more problem. A lot of times when you're feeling this identity gap, you usually try to sabotage yourself. You usually try to sabotage yourself and sabotage your goals so that you could return to what's familiar. So just like that's kind of like in the example of the smoker, it's like, well, they're sabotaging their health, and if they had a goal to quit smoking, they're sabotaging it because, well, it's just easier to keep smoking because I'm already addicted. It's already a habit that I have. It's easier to keep doing this, and it's especially easier because I rationalized my behavior. So why should I need to change it? If I can rationalize it, I shouldn't have to change it. Or a lot of people will try to close this gap through guilt or shame. Like they try to motivate themselves out of it through guilt or shame. And this is different than the tough love motivation, because for me, tough love works the best. Like I need like very blunt, non-sugar coated advice on things to allow them to like get through my brain, or else I just don't really care. But you can't guilt yourself or shame yourself into being a version of yourself that you want to be. You just can't. You can't do it. The type of motivation that will actually stick with you is the motivation that comes from self-compassion and from just the little wins that you can keep track of, right? Rather than guilt or shame. Like you can't motivate somebody to run faster by screaming at them and telling them they're slow. Like it might work, but that's not what's gonna help them. What's gonna help them is hearing that before they were running a mile in 7 minutes and their new time is 6:59. And is that a crazy difference? No, but it's progress. And that little bit of progress is that delayed dopamine that we're talking about. That little bit of like, oh my gosh, well, I just proved to myself that I can do it. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna try to go faster. I'm gonna try to run that mile in 6 minutes and 58 seconds next time. You can't attack and shame your current self while you're trying to build a new identity. So when you make a new goal without first changing your identity, your brain is always going to fall back into that habit of being your old self. And that's why it's so important for us, and I talk about it in every single video, that's why it's so important for you to understand who the girl of your dreams is, because that's how you're making a new identity. And instead of acting as you trying to be this person, you are just acting as this person. Reason number 4 is that you might be stuck in the all or nothing mindset, which kind of has to do with the perfectionism mindset of like, oh, well, my alarm was supposed to go off at 5 today, but it didn't go off, so I didn't wake up till 7, so I might as well throw the whole day away. Nope, we can't do that. We can't do that, because that's actually just not how life works. Because if you spent your whole entire life acting like that, you would probably never actually live, never actually experience. And the last reason is that you rely way too much on motivation, which we all know motivation is a feeling, and you can't rely on your feelings to get anything done, because you could wake up one day and not feel like going to work, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to work anyway, because you know there's consequences if you don't. But when it comes to your own personal goals, or with your own, what you set out to do on your own, and nobody's technically holding you accountable the way that a job would, like if you don't show up to your job, you're gonna get fired, or you're gonna get in trouble, or you're gonna lose that opportunity for the promotion. But when you tell yourself, oh well, I'm gonna go to the gym every day this week, and you wake up, oh, I just don't feel like going to the gym, and you don't go, who are you to do that? Because you don't do that with your job. So you think that you're not important, you don't see yourself as somebody that's important and worth showing up for, and you don't think there's consequences. That's actually really selfish of you to not believe that there's consequences for how you show up in your own life. It's very entitled, very privileged, very ignorant. And that's why discipline's so important, because discipline is not showing up the exact same way every single day. It's showing up every day, no matter how you feel. You're never going to be able to show up 100%, because some days you're going to wake up and you're not going to feel like working out. But that's where the discipline comes into play. Okay, well, you know what? I don't feel like going to the gym today and doing my full workout. But I told myself that I'm going to start working out every single day. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get up and I'm going to go on a 20-minute walk outside. That's discipline. That's you showing up and doing what you said you were going to do. Maybe you didn't do it exactly how you planned out how to do it in your head, but you literally can't account for that. You can't account for these. And that's why so many people are like, well, I'm not motivated, so how can I, like, I'm not motivated all the time. Do you think anybody's motivated all the time? And like, think about like sports teams in high school. There's a JV team and there's a varsity team. No matter who's playing, the JV team will show up to their games and play their games, just like the varsity team will show up to their games and play their games. You don't expect the varsity team to show up to play the JV games, and you don't expect the JV games to show up to play the varsity games. They are two separate things, but both of them are always going to show up to play their each individual games, right? Just like when you wake up some days, you're good enough to play on the varsity teams. Other days, you're not quite up to par with the varsity team players yet, so you're gonna go play the JV game. That's all you have to think about it as. Like, you're gonna go to practice every single day, no matter which team you're playing for. You're gonna show up to the games, and you're gonna give it 100% of your effort that you're able to give it that day. Sometimes your 100% is gonna look like being most goals scored on the varsity team. Sometimes your 100% is gonna look like, you know what, I tried my best, I let a few goals in as the goalie on the JV team, but I tried my best, I showed up, I played the game. It is what it is. Discipline is a safety net. Discipline is not something to be like, oh, like it's so hard, it's so scary. Discipline is literally a safety net, and if you can reframe your mind to see discipline as your safety net, as your point of comfort, as your, okay, well, yeah, I'm not gonna wake up with motivation every day, but you know what, I always have to trust. I always can trust discipline. So with all that being said, I'm hoping that you're feeling a little bit more comforted, a little bit more validated in why you might not be able to be consistent, and just understanding yourself a little bit better. So now let's move into phase 2, which is just the mindset shifts that you can easily implement to help ensure that you're showing up and staying consistent every single day. A lot of people talk about affirmations or I am statements. Now, personally for me, I don't do the best with those, but what I do the best with is, what would the girl in my dreams do right now? Because that's so much easier to believe. If you have always been a lazy person, like you just don't care to get anything done ever, and you just start saying, I'm not a lazy person, I am a super productive person, you're not gonna believe that. You're not gonna believe that, because you've spent so many years telling yourself and doing actions that prove to yourself you are a lazy person. So just saying that, looking in the mirror and doing your affirmations, I am a productive person, it's not gonna work for you. I'm sorry. Like, yes, it will rewire your subconscious mind. Like, yes, it will work, but I think one of the ways to kind of get over that, instead of having to deal with that, it's just, what would the girl in my dreams do right now? Because then it's still rewiring your subconscious, because it's now it's no longer I am this, it's, well, the girl in my dreams would do this, so I'm gonna do that. And now you could see, well, I'm acting exactly how the girl in my dreams would act, so that, does that make me the girl in my dreams? Yes, it does. Exactly, that's how it works. Exactly. But your subconscious brain is always working, and I know so many people talk about this, but literally your subconscious brain is always working, and it's always finding ways to keep you in line with your identity. So anything you say, oh, I'm so lazy, I'm so bad at this, your subconscious brain says, okay, let's look for reasons why that's true. It's gonna put you in the mindset of, well, I'm lazy, so I might as well just put this off. I'm not somebody who shows up consistently, so why should I bother? In psychology, this is called the self-concept bias, and it's literally you just acting in accordance to who you believe you are. That's why, like, okay, think of this for example. Have you ever been around somebody and, you know, maybe you just hate your outfit, and you just don't like how you look in your outfit, and you say, oh, like, I hate my outfit, nothing looks good, my hair doesn't look good, my makeup doesn't look good, and your best friend goes to you and says, yes it does, it looks so good. That's not going to change how you think. That's not going to change. So whatever you believe to be true about yourself is what's true. No matter how many times other people say, no, you're wrong, like, no, you're being so hard on yourself. It doesn't matter, because all your brain is doing is listening to what you believe. It doesn't matter what other people believe. It's listening to what you believe. So if you believe, like, oh, like, I just don't like how my hair looks, I can't stand my outfit today, like, none of my clothes fit me right. That's how you, like, no matter what anybody else's perception is. That's why it's so important for you to focus on yourself and to lock in and figure out who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you're going to be looking at everyone else and you're going to be comparing yourself to them in terms of looks, in terms of finances, in terms of living situations, in terms of jobs, education, like literally everything. You're going to constantly be looking around at every single other person and affirming to yourself why you're not as good as them. Because you don't know who you are. So you're seeing all these other people that you like who they are. You like how they dress, you like what they do for work, you like what school they go to, and you're looking at yourself from a seat of, well, they all seem to have it all together and I don't. You don't have it together because all you're doing is looking at all these other people and wishing that you were like them instead of actually putting in the work for yourself. You are always going to act in alignment with who you believe yourself to be. If you believe yourself to be somebody who's lazy, who doesn't show up, who's not a hard worker, you will always act as somebody who's lazy, who doesn't show up, and is not a hard worker. You will always act that way, no matter what. Even if you have little spurts of proving yourself wrong, you're always going to fall back into that because that's what you believe about yourself. Nobody can change how you think about yourself. You have to do it. Other things can influence it, but at the end of the day, it's up to you, okay? It's your responsibility. And it's literally so easy because you could just choose every single day to rewire your brain. Like the neural pathways we were talking about earlier, the new roads being built in your brain, that's up to you. Like, do you think that, like, the city that you live in, the town that you, like, it didn't just show up one day. It showed up because somebody said, I'm gonna turn this into a city. I'm gonna build a new road here. Don't know what it's gonna look like, but I'm gonna do it anyway. That's how your brain works. So if you take this road to go this way and that's all you know, that's the only road you have in your brain. Start building new roads, bitch. Like, if you want a different life, you're gonna have to start taking new roads to get there. And that's why people do say, and listen, I do like the I am affirmations. However, I have never found them very helpful for me in terms of saying, I am this, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire. I've always said it in the terms of the dream girl. So like, okay, well, the girl of my dreams is financially stable. She's a millionaire. She makes over $1 million every single year. Okay, that's the girl of my dreams. Every time I have a decision to act like her and I act like her, that's me confirming to my subconscious brain, I am that version of myself. Another good way to look at this is, let's say you're in school to become a lawyer. You can say, I'm in school to become a lawyer. You believe that because you're in school and the end goal of that schooling is to become a lawyer, to pass the bar exam, to become a lawyer. You believe that to be true. You believe that to be your identity. And that's what you believe will come into fruition if you just keep paying tuition, you keep getting good grades, you pass the bar exam, all these things. You believe this to be true. You believe this to be a true statement. But just because you're in school to become a lawyer doesn't mean you're going to become a lawyer. You have no idea what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. But notice how you're quick to say, well, obviously that's what's going to happen. Obviously, if you're in school to become a lawyer, obviously that's what's going to happen. You need to start believing in yourself in that same way. When you start school, you say, well, I'm in school and I'm going to graduate. You have no idea if you're going to graduate. That's your intention. That's your hope. That's what you want to happen. That's what's supposed to happen. You don't know if that's going to happen. But the second I tell you, you don't know if that's going to happen, oh, you're playing the devil's advocate. Yeah, I am, because if that's so easy for you to believe, why is it so hard for you to believe that if you start showing up in a way that aligns with who you want to be and the life you want to have, why is it so hard for you to believe that you can't be a millionaire? Why is it so hard for you to believe that you can't start a successful social media career, or you can't become a successful actor, actress, you can't write a book, you can't do this, you can't move across the country on your own? Like, why is it so hard for you to believe that? If you can simply say, I'm in school to graduate and get a diploma, even though that's not based on anything, that has no basis. You don't know what's going to happen. That's what's supposed to happen. The same way that if you say, I'm saving up my money, I'm gonna have $50,000 and I'm gonna move across the country and live on my own. It's so much easier to doubt that because there's no proof, I guess. The proof of going to school and graduating is that, well, most people do that. Well, that's not true. That's not true either. So just start thinking of these things. Start thinking of these things that you know to be true and then playing the devil's advocate about them. And then you'll kind of start to realize, like, oh, the only reason I don't believe I could become a millionaire is because I'm keeping, like, I just don't believe that. Like, I'm in my own way of that happening because I just don't believe it. Even though when I say that I'm going to be a lawyer and graduate law school, I believe that. Interesting. It's just like being confident. Like, you don't just say, like, oh, I'm not a confident person. I'm not a confident person, and then project confident. Like, that's not how it happens. You don't say, well, once I'm confident, then I'll start acting confident. You just have to start doing it. And there's no other way to sugarcoat it. There's literally no other way. You just have to start doing it. You just have to start. That's the only way you could do it. Just like when you don't know something. Let's say you don't know how to make banana bread. Well, I don't know how to make banana bread. I'll just wait until I know how to make banana bread to make banana bread. How the fuck do you think you're gonna learn how to make banana bread if you don't try to make it? Do you think that magically one day some little fucking fairy's gonna pop into your brain and say, here's the recipe for banana bread? No. You make the banana bread. You find a recipe. You buy the ingredients. You make the bread. You made banana bread. That's how simple it is. But for some reason, when it comes to anything having to do with confidence or self-concept or anything with ourselves, it's like the most impossible. Well, you just don't understand because no, you're just being fucking stupid. I'm sorry. That's what it is. The next mindset shift, this isn't necessarily a mindset shift, but it's just a mindset habit and implement, is just start taking note of the proof that you've given to yourself. So start making basically like a resume, right? So make a resume for yourself of every time that you've shown up consistently in a way that made you happy. Like, your brain needs to see this evidence of this new identity. And this is called behavioral confirmation, which basically every time you act in alignment with this new identity that you're creating, your belief gets stronger, which that makes sense. That makes sense. Because like the $1,000 saving goal is every time you get $1, that's $1 closer to your goal, which is confirmation that you're gonna reach your goal because you keep adding $1, adding $1, adding $1. Okay, well, I will get to $1,000 because I'm watching it go up and up and up. So let's say you have a goal to start a social media career and you went out today and you took pictures in your outfit. I want you to make a notes app or like a Notion, whatever you use, a little notebook or whatever, and write down today's date and write down what you did that's going to help you achieve that goal. That's going to be your resume and your basically like your evidence log of like, okay, well, I am doing these things that make me more in line with the girl that I want to be. You want to start working out, maybe you want to lose 10 pounds. Write down every time you go to the gym. Write down every time you chose the healthier option instead of giving in to instant gratification and going through the drive-through. And then the last kind of mindset shift, or just something to keep in mind, is building a self-trust loop, which is basically just the thought process of every time you show up consistently, even if it's little by little, and that's why that resume is so important, because you can remind yourself how many times you've showed up. It strengthens the loop of self-trust. Like, you have to be able to rely on yourself and show up for yourself. It's like the strongest form of self-love. So every time you see that, it builds the trust loop, but every time you don't show up, it's going to weaken the trust loop. This is not something that you do once and it's perfect. Like, this is not just well, I'll go do this once and it'll be perfect. No, this is implementing a new lifestyle. It's a new behavior. It's a new constant in your life. The self-trust loop is based on the self-determination theory, which just says the more you feel in control of your behavior, the more confident you're going to become, which makes sense because the more you feel like you have control over your own life, the more you feel in control over your own thoughts and your own feelings and your own actions, you're going to feel more confident. Like, think about any relationship you've ever been in. If trust has ever been broken, you don't trust them. No matter how many times they show up and show up and show up and show up and show that you can trust them, there's still going to be that little piece of you that says, well, yeah, sure, maybe you've shown me that, you know, I can trust you, but also I know that I can't trust you, so why should I? And that's why it's so important for you to keep the promises you make to yourself, to show up consistently. That's the self-trust loop, because yeah, you could show up for 70 days in a row showing up consistently, but the one day that you stop showing up, your brain automatically goes back into, wait, you stopped showing up, you stopped showing up. If you've been in the same autopilot mindset for however long you've been alive, why do you think that it's only going to take 2 weeks to make a change? You have had years of conditioning and exposure to other people's opinions, to other people's thoughts, to the way that you were raised, to the way that your teachers taught you in school, to literally every single thing, to society, to the content that you've consumed. You've been exposed to that for years, and it's built this identity in your mind, and it's built this perspective that you view life. That's the lens in which you view life. So yes, 70 days of being consistent is a long time of being consistent, and that's amazing. But the second you slip and you fall out of it, it's gonna feel so much harder to get started again. But because you have spent those 70 days building that self-trust loop and having that resume and the proof point and everything like that, you can see like, okay, well, I am very capable of it. Like, you would never agree to go on a date with a man who continues to bail last minute. You guys make the plans, and he's gonna pick you up at 6 o'clock, and at 5:15 he texts, oh, hey, I'm so sorry, like something came up, let's reschedule. Maybe you'd let it go once, okay. Maybe even for the second time if the excuse was good enough. But after the third time, you're gonna be like, okay, like this man just is a flaker. Like, it's just annoying. I don't want to deal with it. Like, you need to allow yourself to get that same ick about yourself. You need to say like, oh, like I have bailed on myself 3 times in a row, and my excuses every single time are so pathetic. Like, I'm disgusted. Like, I need to stop. I need to stop doing that. Everything I just said, that's completely up to you if you want to change your mind on those things or not. But let's get into phase 3, some of the practical tips that you could actually implement that could start helping you show up more consistently. And these are just going to be the little things that you can actually just start doing right now, no matter what your goals are, to just help you. Like, why would you not want to help yourself? Why would you not want to, oh, I'm sorry, like, did you need that? Like, oh, let me get that for you. Why would you not want to do that? It's gonna be hard. I'm not saying it's not gonna be hard, but it's simple. It's simple. It's hard because it's not easy, but it's simple. You can't wait for motivation. You cannot wait for the motivation to hit because like we said, motivation is a feeling. Feelings come and go so quickly. I know you put on TikTok, you scroll, you are laughing so hard, next video you're crying. Why would you rely on something that flaky? You can't. Okay, so the first thing is basically just to place little cues in your environment right now. In psychology, it's called cue-based conditioning. It's like your habit is tied to a specific trigger in your environment, making your brain have a lot easier, like making it way easier for your brain to be like, oh yeah, like let me do that habit really quick. So for example, if you want to start waking up earlier, the thing that you could actually start doing in your environment and implementing in your environment is start putting your alarm on the other side of the room, whether it's your phone, whether it's an alarm clock, whatever it is. So you have to get up out of bed. You actually have to wake up at the hour that your alarm's going off, get out of your bed and turn off the alarm. Or another common one is if you want to start working out in the morning, picking out your gym outfit the night before, laying out your workout clothes the night before. Because when you wake up, and again, sure, it's up to you at this point. These are just little things to help to actually help make this a lot easier, to help make the process easier. But like, it's up to you. If you pick out your clothes, you lay out your clothes the night before you wake up in the morning and you decide not to go to the gym, okay, whatever, like that's up to you. But just seeing them laid out there, because I know anytime I've done that and I've decided like I'm not going to go to the gym, it's so humbling to put those clothes back in my drawer. It's like, wow, okay, this is a little embarrassing, all right. And also just remember that like, if past you had the wherewithal to help current you, why would you not want to do current you a favor and help future you? Every bit of your life is literally just you showing up for you and helping you. And at the end of it all, if you don't have enough love and compassion for yourself, this is going to be very hard. But that's why you have to keep doing it, so that you can build that love and compassion for yourself. If you design your space, your living environment, to make your goals easier to reach, it might make your daily life feel harder, but it's making your goals easier. That's what you have to do. And if you could just be logical about a lot of these things, it's like, obviously nobody wants to wake up right when they get up. Like, obviously you're tired because you just went from being asleep to jolted awake with an alarm sound. Like, obviously you don't want to wake up right now. Duh. The second thing you could start using is the 2-minute rule, which is basically, this just helps you get over that overwhelming feeling. And basically just whatever you have to do, just do it for 2 minutes. You say, oh, I really can't do this today. I really can't. I can't do it. Do it for 2 minutes. More often than not, you're going to keep going. You're going to keep following through. Or you're not. And guess what? You still showed up for 2 minutes. You can always find time to do 2 minutes of something. Okay? Okay. The next one that I absolutely love to do is literally, it's just habit stacking. If you've read Atomic Habits, you know all about this, but it's such a useful tool, and I use it in so much of my everyday life. All it is you're taking an existing behavior that you already do every single day, and you're just stacking a new habit on top of it. So for example, when I'm doing my Sunday cleaning reset, what I really like to do is I whiten my teeth, because that's something that I put off a lot of the times, which sure, it's not contributing to like this master goal of mine, but it's something that I like to do for self-care. But I put it off all the time because it's like, well, you have to keep them on for 30 minutes, and then it's like hard to talk, and I love to talk. And then you can't like eat or drink while you have them in. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do as much of my Sunday reset as I can in 30 minutes. I'm gonna put these on, I'm gonna put all my clothes away, I'm gonna change my sheets, I'm gonna clean the kitchen, I'm gonna wash my makeup brushes, all this stuff. And I'm habit stacking because like, okay, not only did I already do this Sunday reset that I'm already doing, I whitened my teeth while I was doing it. And this just ties back into your brain is lazy. Your brain wants to do the easiest thing, and that's why it loves routines. So if you could just start building routines that are actually helping you rather than hurting you, your brain's gonna love it, because your brain's gonna be like, oh, like something I actually just started implementing is when I brush my teeth every night, I do calf raises. So like I go top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. Okay, so that's 6 places I can do calf raises. So for the top, I do 15. For the bottom, I do 15. For the top, I do 15. For the bottom, I do 15. For the top and bottom, I just do single legs. I do single leg 15. I do single leg 15. It's really fun. It makes brushing my teeth more fun. And it makes sure that I'm hitting my 2-minute mark with brushing my teeth. I guess a lot of my habit stacking has to do with oral health, I guess. But it's just silly stuff like that. Or even a lot of times in the morning when I'm brewing my morning coffee, I like to see how many dishes I can put away, because maybe I'm not committing to doing the dishes, but if the dishwasher's clean and the dishes could be put away, okay, I press start on the Keurig, see how many dishes I can get put away. Sometimes it's all of them, sometimes it's half of them. It is what it is. Another thing is you just need to prepare to experience resistance. So you know how like when you get on an airplane, every time you get on an airplane, they tell you the whole safety thing, like, okay, this is it, this is it. It doesn't matter how many times you've been on the plane. It doesn't matter how many times they've been on the plane. They're gonna run through that safety thing. And thankfully, a lot of times you don't ever have to know any of it. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to experience going through those motions, but they still do it anyway on the off chance something's gonna happen. They're prepared for the worst. That's why you have to prepare for the resistance you're gonna feel, because you are gonna feel too tired, I don't wanna, like, this is too hard, oh, I'm so sore, I can't go to the gym today, oh, I'm just craving McDonald's french fries, like, I don't want to cook. You're gonna feel that. You need to be prepared for when that time comes. So if you can visualize the reward you would get if you did the thing that you need to do, as well as the cost that you would pay of not doing the things you need to do, that's what you have to do. That's a helpful way to make sure that you're mentally prepared for the resistance. And then lastly is just creating a reward system, which honestly, I loved this since I was a kid. When my mom was potty training us, she used to give us a quarter, and we had a little gumball machine that she filled with M&Ms. So every time we went to the bathroom on our own, she gave us a quarter and was like, go get your candy, girl. Perfect. So yeah, this is a very basic technique, but now I do this reward system in the terms like, okay, once I hit this goal, I'm gonna allow myself a $200 shopping spree at this store. Or I remember when I hit 500,000 followers on TikTok, I said that I was gonna get a facial because I hadn't had a facial in a really long time. So I went and I got myself a facial when I hit 500,000 followers. Little things like that, or even if they're not, they don't have to be materialistic like that, but they can be. Like maybe it's something as simple as, if I hit this goal, then next Friday I'm gonna call out of work and I am just gonna have a day where I order all my food in and I just watch all my favorite movies all day. That's gonna be my reward for hitting this goal. And those are just some of the practical tips that you could start implementing. But now let's move to phase 4, my favorite phase ever. Get out your Pretty Princess playbook, because this is the game plan for how to actually show up, how you could actually take everything that we just learned and apply it to your own life and make your own set of instructions. Okay, so listen up and lock in. Okay, so first and foremost, I want you to write down your top 3 to 5. I would cap it at 5. Honestly, it doesn't have to even be 3. Your top goal, your top, oh, I wish I was the type of person to do this. Oh, I wish I had that. I wish this, I wish that. Whatever whatever you could think of that you always say, like, oh, I wish I was the type of person to do that. Oh, I wish I felt better about how I looked in this dress. I wish that, whatever those are, write those down. It could be as simple as, I wish I was the type of person to wear perfume every day. I wish I was the type, or it could be something like, I wish I was the type of person to keep track of my finances and expenses and make a budget for myself. Stuff like that. I wish I knew how to speak a different language. I wish I was anything like that. It could literally be anything. But just write down your top 1 to 5 of those I wish I was. I definitely would go 3. I'm like aiming for 3 here, but honestly, like, if you can only think of 1, that's fine too. But like 3 is the prime time. But if you know, like, if you're locked in, write 5 of them. I wouldn't go more than 5 because I just wouldn't. Like, we have more days. We can tackle the other ones later. Now, for each one of those I wish I was, we're gonna turn them into goals. For each one of those goals that you wrote down, write down why you don't do them and be honest with yourself and be specific. Or write down the routine that you do right now instead. Or do both. So, okay, for the I wish I wore perfume every day one, we'll stick with that example. Maybe right now it's, well, I don't wear perfume right now because I just shower and I put on my lotion and I leave the house and I always just forget to put on my perfume. Or maybe you just don't do it because it's, well, I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste it. Or it's literally just, I just don't have a perfume right now. Like, I just don't know what perfume I like and I haven't bought one right now. Just write down why you don't currently have this goal that you're wishing you had. For the investments, maybe it's just, well, I'm not the type of person that invests or does budgeting and anything because I know nothing about financial literacy and it scares me and it's just really overwhelming and I don't do it right now and I'd rather just avoid it because it's stressful. Or something like, well, I don't want to gamble my money. Like, I feel like it's a gamble and I just don't want to do it. And instead, right now, all I do is I just deposit my money into a savings account and hope for the best. Just be so specific. Just, nobody's judging you. This is for you and you only. Be as honest as you can be. Now, take a look at those things that you wrote down and decide, like, okay, well, do my reasonings align with the girl of my dreams? Like, would she be having those reasonings for not having those goals? Probably not, right? Probably not. Now, for each one of those goals that you wrote down, I want you to write down the exact steps that you could take. Like, you can make these the tiniest little, like, so specific, like, literally tiniest steps you could possibly think of making. Or you could just write down, like, the gist, like, okay, well, first I'll start here and then I'll start here. Write down the exact game plan of how you're gonna go from I wish I was this person to I am this person. How are you gonna achieve those goals? Write down the game plan. So for the girl who wants to learn about investing and financial literacy and stuff like that, step 1 could be, okay, well, I'm gonna go online because if I'm watching this video, I probably have access to online and Google and other social media platforms that could teach me stuff. I'm gonna go online and I'm gonna research where I can find free financial literacy courses. Or I'm gonna research the best books I should read about becoming better with money. Step number 2 could be, okay, well, I'm gonna pick a course or I'm gonna pick a book to read. Step number 3 could be, I'm gonna dedicate 20 minutes every single week to reading this book or doing this course or taking notes on this subject. You know what I mean? That's the steps. And now literally it's just up to you. It's up to you now. Like, I can't talk you through it all. Like, you just have to do it. But you just gave yourself the guidebook for how to do it. Nobody can force you to do it. You have to want to do it bad enough, okay? Like, that's all that it comes down to, is you have to care about yourself to show up for yourself. Okay? Like, nobody can force you to do it, and nobody's gonna do it for you. So you either do it for yourself or you shut up about not having it, okay? Okay, so on that note, episode 25 has officially come to an end, and I hope you have a pretty princess day.